الله أعلى وأكبر، الله أقوى وأقدر ممن عدا وتكبر، ممن بغى وتجبر.
When our brothers are arrested and our sisters are arrested, not just in England but around the world, for actions that they may or may not have committed, do we react in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam reacted? Yes, initially we may say that it is haram, but nevertheless, our brothers that do haram are far better and more beloved to us than the kuffar. And there are many other examples. Another Sahaba, a great Sahaba, Osama bin Zayd, radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Osama bin Zayd, he was 15 years old, and this is just after the Battle of Khandaq, just after the Battle of the Trench. He was on the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's case. He wanted to go to battle. And for anybody who doesn't know who Osama bin Zayd was, Osama bin Zayd was the son of Zayd ibn Harith, who used to be, before it was abrogated, the adopted son of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the man who the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I am of him and he is of me. Whoever loves him, whoever loves him, I will love them. Whoever dislikes him, I will dislike them. Osama bin Zayd, he said, he is the son of my son. The son of my son. He said, I love him and he loves me. Whoever loves him, I will love them. There's so many hadiths about Osama bin Zayd. Anyway, Osama bin Zayd, he was 15 years old, and he goes out on a small expedition with the Sahaba. And he was a very good fighter, Osama bin Zayd. A very, subhanAllah, very skillful fighter. He wasn't very big and strong. Actually, the descriptions of him is that most likely he was black. He was a black companion of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was quite short, quite stocky. So Osama bin Zayd, he's obviously very eager. First time on the battlefield. They're fighting, and the mushrikeen that they're fighting at that time, they retreat. So Osama bin Zayd, he chases one man. And it is said that he chased him in the desert from Asr to Maghrib. He chased him from Asr to Maghrib in the hot sun. He's chasing him with his sword in the air. And he's chasing him and chasing him and chasing him until finally he catches up to him. So he's chasing him for about 2 hours. And he's left the Sahaba far behind. They don't know where Osama bin Zayd has gone. Eventually he catches up to this man. He wrestles this man to the ground. And he's got his sword over his neck. And this man who Osama bin Zayd now is kneeling over him, about to kill him. He says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. He says, I bear witness there's no worthy of worship but Allah, and that the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the Messenger of Allah. Osama bin Zayd kills him. He kills him. He travels back to the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he tells them what happened. He says, I chased this man, and he's laughing. He says, I chased him, and when I'm about to kill him, he says, La ilaha illallah. So the companions said, Ya Osama, what did you do? He said, I killed him anyway. They said, Ya Osama, wait, haqqa. Oh Osama, wake up. You just killed a Muslim. Osama says, no. He only said it because I was about to kill him. They said, how do you know that? You just killed a Muslim. All the way from that otherwise back to Medina, Osama bin Zayd didn't speak. He was quiet, contemplating on what he had just done. He goes back to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Sahaba, they are upset. They inform the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam what Osama did. The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he goes back to Osama bin Zayd. He says, oh Osama, tell me what happened. Osama says to him, I was going to kill this man, and he said La ilaha illallah, and he only said it because he knew I was going to kill him, so I killed him anyway. The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, oh Osama, did you rip open his heart? Did you rip open his chest and look inside his heart? Did you know what he was concealing in his heart? He says, no, Ya Rasulullah, I didn't, Ya Rasulullah. The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do you know what he said to him? He said, how does it feel, Ya Rasulullah, that you killed a Muslim today? How does it feel that you killed a Muslim today? How do you feel? Usama bin Zayd, he turned to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, Ya Rasulullah, I wish that I was a kafir all of my life and I just embraced Islam today, so that the action that I did would be wiped away. Do you know what the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did then? He raised his hand and he made dua for Usama bin Zayd. He asked Allah to forgive him. Subhanallah. We have so many examples of the Sahaba when they did wrong. When they committed haram. Usama bin Zayd, he committed haram. Abdullah bin Jash, he committed haram. Khalid ibn Walid, he committed haram. They killed people, and we always hear people reciting the same ayah about the one who kills somebody unjustly. It is as if he has killed the whole of mankind. These Sahaba did this. Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala were guilty of this. The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't lynch them up and burn them at the stake. He didn't throw them in jail. He didn't hand them over to the enemy. He didn't stand witness against them. He made dua for them. He asked Allah to forgive them. And he took them back under himself and helped guide them to the straight path. My dear brothers and sisters, our test today in this country is these brothers and sisters that are being arrested around England and the United Kingdom. These brothers and sisters that are in jail. These people are our test. And Allah, He says that He will test a group of people by another group of people. We are being tested by them. How we react to them. I will ask anybody in the audience, is killing somebody kufr? No, it's not kufr. Is killing a Muslim kufr? No, it's not kufr. ولكن هذا ليس كفر, it's still not kufr. Because if it was kufr between Muawiyah and Ali, one of them would be kafir. Thousands of them killed each other. Nobody made takfir upon each other. Minor kufr, not a kufr of apostasy. Didn't lead them to apostate. They never made apostasy. So why is it that we stand on TV and we say, these people who are going to bomb so-and-so, they are not Muslim, they are kuffar, they got nothing to do with Islam, they got nothing to do with us, the Taliban, they got nothing to do with us, Osama has got nothing to do with us, Al-Qaeda got nothing to do with us, Satan has nothing to do with Islam. Why do we say this? None of this is kuffar. It is not an act of apostasy. Subhanallah, he is my brother. I love him for the sake of Allah. Maybe I hate his actions, but I don't condemn him, turn my back on him, and leave him to rot in jail. And I say this being fearful that this is what might happen to me. And you know what? I'll be honest, I'll be truthful. I don't believe anybody will help us when I'm in jail. I don't believe so. I believe if I go to jail, or my brothers go to jail, or my mother goes to jail, we'll be forgotten just like everybody else. Because we are nobody special. We are nobody special. We are just another face speaking on a platform to another group of Muslims. So our tawakkul is with Allah, our reliance is with Allah. We turn to Allah in the face of oppression, and we do not oppress our brothers and our sisters even more than the oppression that they are in. If we have nothing constructive to say, the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, stay silent. Stay silent and make dua. And try to be amongst those groups that the Messenger, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He loves. The sabirin, the mutatahirin, the ones who are patient, the ones who are pure, the mutataqqirin, the ones who turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mutadakirin, the ones who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Try to be amongst those people. But our test in this country is all those brothers and sisters that are in jail all around the world.
While I was going through my notes, I came across this quote by Samuel Huntington, and I just thought I would share it with you. It's really interesting. The West won the world not by the superiority of its ideas or values or religion, but rather by its superiority in applying organized violence. Westerners often forget this fact. Non-Westerners never do. Interesting. I don't know how many of you tuned into Radio 4 this morning, but one of the lead stories was about the radicalization of young Muslim men in prison. I literally couldn't believe my ears, and so waited another hour for the bulletin to be repeated. It seems that the Prison Officers Association is concerned about the Arabic-speaking imams secretly influencing other prison inmates. Steve Goff, the Vice Chairman of the Prison Officers Association, said, "The type of people that we're now putting into prison who have the ability to radicalise and have got a proven track record to radicalise need a new type of control that we're not ready for and the government doesn't appear to have put any thought into." It is the case that Abu Qatada, and there are maybe others, I don't really know, are using prayer in a context that we don't understand. The reality is that most of the staff don't know what he's doing. Abu Qatada, like the other Muslim brothers in Long Larson, are merely praying as Muslims. And if the Prison Officers Association had made any effort in trying to understand Islam, they would have understood what was going on when Abu Qatada was standing up speaking in Arabic. The problem is the prison officers don't understand Arabic. Now, I'm not suggesting that they all go out and immerse themselves and learn the language. It's very difficult, I know that personally. But not only do the prison officers not understand Arabic, neither do the majority of the other inmates in Long Larson prison where Abu Qatada is being held. And let's face it, if you don't understand Arabic and you're not a Muslim, you're hardly likely to go trotting along to Friday prayers to listen to Abu Qatada. And how often does Abu Qatada actually lead the Friday prayers that this Prison Officers Association leader was talking about? Well, not very often, according to the prison service, which has confirmed today that inmates at Long Larson do pray as a group, but only occasionally did they read the prayers, and they said these occasions were extremely rare when the prison imam was unwell or couldn't get to the prison. She also said the small number of detainees in the specialist unit at Long Larson prison pray as a group 3 times a day and individually in their cells twice a day. The communal prayers are led by the prison's imam, who visits the unit on a daily basis. On the rare occasions when he is unable to attend, then a prisoner is chosen to read out the prayer of the day. So what is Steve Goff from the POA talking about? This is a big scare story which amounts to absolutely nothing. Is this a subversive move to try and get us all to start praying in English? Or is it an attempt to deflect attention from the POA members who never seem to be around these days when Muslim prisoners are being attacked? And I would like also to know who made Steve Goff judge and jury over the Long Larson brothers, because he's talking about these so-called radicalized Muslims. The very Muslims who he's referring to are being held without trial, without charge. They haven't been charged with anything. And I really, today, I just thought that I wanted to examine the case of the Long Larson inmates, the so-called radicals that Steve Goff is talking about. They're a group of brothers who are Egyptian, there's a Palestinian, a Jordanian, and some Algerians. They are being held without trial and without charge. One has been inside since 1999.